Hi, my name is Caleb Tayo. I'm from a small city in Ontario, Canada. Today we're going to be making a chicken Alfredo with fettuccine noodles made from scratch. Alright, so our first steps, it's very easy. All you need, 6 eggs, salt, and 4 cups of flour. So first, we're going to want to make a well. Just be careful not to get it everywhere. Alright, and you make a hole right in the middle. Okay, now we're going to want to add our eggs. All 6 of them go in. Ooh. Okay, now we're not going to want a lot of salt because we're going to season the water whenever it's coming up to a boil. Pop all the yolks and be very careful to keep it in the well because it's very hard to make it come back together afterwards. You're going to want to gradually add flour in to our mixture. Okay. Very gradually. Whenever it starts to come together more, then you can start adding more. Alright, so your dough's gonna become really shaggy. So you're going to want to knead it, and you're going to be scared that it's not hydrated enough. But if you keep kneading, it's all going to come together, and it'll take around 20 minutes. So get ready for a workout. You still recording?
Yeah.
Alright. So whenever you're kneading, you're going to want to bring back and push it onto itself. Rotate and keep going. Okay. Now, so now that our dough has come together beautifully, after kneading for 15 to 20 minutes, we're going to make sure to refrigerate it for 20 to 30 minutes, wrapped with no oil in the refrigerator. I'll see you then. So here we have Canadian prime chicken that we're going to salt, pepper, sear in a ripping hot pan, and then we're going to finish it in a 400-degree oven. Then we're going to turn it off and then do other things in the meantime. So right now, we season the first side before it goes in the pan. Okay, salt. Pepper. And to lower the risk of cross-contamination, I'm going to use 2 different olive oil and butter. And now I'm going Okay, so we're going to season this side while this side sears. Then we're going to flip it. Then we're going to put it in the oven. And all we're doing is we're not even trying to cook the chicken right here. All we're doing is putting color on it because it's really hard to get color in the oven, almost impossible. do a flip. And if you want a more color, which I do, I'm going to flip it back over, put a tiny bit more color on this side. Our chicken has a lot of color on it, on both sides. I'm going to transfer them to a baking sheet and finish them off in the oven. They'll cook for 20 to 25 minutes. And also a good thing about giving them a head start in the pan is that it makes it quicker in the oven. Get our pan off the heat, turn that off. Make sure no kids are in the kitchen because then they can touch the front element. Move these. Now, put them in the oven. Pop those in. And while those are in the oven, we're going to roll out our noodles, cut them, and get our sauce started. Welcome back. Now we're going to start our Alfredo sauce. Remember, this is not traditional. So what's not really traditional is that we're using garlic. We find it adds an additional it intensifies the flavor. Alright, so we're going to start with our stock. In a cold pan or a little warm pan, we don't want it to be too hot for our cream to separate. It's not really that hot. Just enough to cover the pan. And then get that whisk on standby. We put in one whole 473 milliliter carton of 35% cream or whipping cream, same thing. And to make a bit more, we're going to use half of one of these, reserve some for the end. Okay, now we're going to put this to medium high heat. We're going to let that heat up. We're going to use 125 grams of dried Parmesan cheese. 125 grams dried Parmesan cheese. So basically half of one of the cylinders of the Kraft. Whisk it in good. Remember, this is going to thicken as we reduce it. So we're going to add the salt after, so it doesn't get too salty. One teaspoon garlic powder. A nice amount of black pepper. It cuts the richness of the sauce. Remember, if you don't like pepper that much, you don't have to add that. You don't have to add the same quantity. Okay, this is too watery, so we're going to let this come to a simmer and reduce. And then we're going to boil our pasta after we cut it. And then we're going to drain it. And for one serving, we're going to put a ladle of our sauce. And then we're going to finish it in the pan after our noodles come to al dente. Whenever we were gone, I turned up the heat so I can evaporate all the water. And now that all the water's evaporating, it's coming to a boil. And then remember, it'll get thicker as it cools down. Okay, and while this is simmering, I'll turn down the heat so it doesn't get too thick. I'll roll out the dough, I'll cut it, and you're going to want a second pair of hands to help you with this, because it rolls out to 6 to 7 feet long if you were to do it in one. So I just took our pasta out of the refrigerator, unwrapping it, and now we're going to cut it into 4 equal portions. And we're going to flatten them out and pass them through our pasta machine. And then we're going to roll them up into nests. And then we're going to boil them until they're al dente. Lightly dust your surface and your pasta. One way back. Like that. Okay, thickest setting. Make sure, roll it out once on every setting. This is the thickest one. I have 7 settings here. I'm going to pass them one through every one. Flour surface. Now that we've got them rolled to our desired thickness, we're going to roll our noodles. Make sure they're long enough, but not too long. And now cut the pasta, and then roll the noodles in our boiling water, and make sure let the stir often. And these don't take long at all to cook. Just make sure to stir so they don't stick. We're going to salt our water. That's enough. Okay, while those are finishing, I'm going to grab a ladle of our sauce. If we need more, we'll add more later. These noodles are done. Strain them. Now dump them into your pan. Get the sauce incorporated and finish those noodles cooking. Now, I'm getting our plate ready. Get everything in its place. Now that our chicken is done, we're going to slice it, put it on our plate with a ladle of our sauce, our pasta, a bit of Parmesan on the top, and some chives. Get it, put it on our plate. Now we're going to get a ladle of our pasta sauce. Don't get it on the chicken. We want to see the color that we put on it. Now we're going to twirl our pasta. And we twirled it like this. Place it while twirling. Now I'm going to put some pieces of our fresh Parmesan. And we put our chives. Make sure the edge of our plate is clean. And there's our dish. Fettuccine Alfredo from scratch with a beautifully pan-seared and chicken breast. I'll see you guys next time.